That some achieve success is proof that all others can achieve it as well. Abraham Lincoln. My friends, each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that's all we ask. By the way, don't forget we will be releasing to everyone the charting cryptos and currencies. My friends, if you listened to the show yesterday and you followed the practice trading advice we gave you, everything worked out wonderfully well, even to my surprise, because I told you I just didn't feel strongly about TLT. Darn if it wasn't up 1.38% too. So let's talk about where we are. We were bullish yesterday. We said 75% with a 70% back test accuracy, 75% directional probability of going down on the S&P. And my friends, boom, it was. It was a great day. 2% it went down. We saw your exit point at around the 560 mark, down $7. My friends, it was down to 550, 566. What a good day if you were practice trading. On the negative, on the S&P. And of course, you might say, Tom, how do you make money when an ETF goes down? Well, that means you're not familiar with us here, because we talk all the time about the inverse funds. We ask you to practice trade those things. It is always good to learn by doing. And by practice trading something like SH, there are other ETFs that are inverses. You even have those ones that are 2 and 3 times the inverse. I don't like those. There's super high fees, and of course your losses are magnified if things go against you. If something happens and the market swoons, you would have gotten hammered. But one time the ATR, I can bear that. Now the costs are higher. Again, it's recalculated on a daily basis, can magnify losses. I'm going to put again at the end of today's video, inverse funds, how to make money when markets crash. If you haven't taken that training yet, take it. You will like it. But you can see that SH was hammering up today 2+%. Actually, a little bit more than the S&P went down. It went up 2.07, whereas the S&P went down 2.01. But the guys who manage those inverse funds, they work very hard with derivatives to mimic the opposite of what's happening with the underlying asset. So things worked out great. Where are we going on Monday, possibly? Well, we have a 75% bearish probability of more down move. Jumping in point is a little bit higher than where we closed today at 556.33. We see the exit at 550, down about $6.30, a 70% back test accuracy. Now we know that again, after a weekend, if there's some real positive news, things could swing up. So again, what is the rule for jumping in? Well, of course, you want to see a down-going candle on the 195-minute chart with decent volume like you saw today. Did you catch in the morning that big down moving candle with that nice high volume? Again, inline, just getting stronger as the day got longer. That is what you want to see if you're thinking about jumping in. You want to see that red Heikin-Ashi candle with a 195-minute chart, increasing volume. So that is what we'll be looking for. If things peg up and they swing up on Monday, we still have all this downward momentum for it to recapture. Remember, every day when we come to you, we've updated what's happened over the prior day, and then we add to what we see happening in the coming 5+ days. That's the way we're calculating this when we're using all three of these charts. That's where we're coming up with the entry point, the exit point, the expected move, the back test accuracy. All those things are based on our Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, our three charts, our volume metrics, and of course, the trend. Now, let's keep moving. How do we do on the Qs? We did great. Yesterday we told you an 80% possibility, or probability rather, of bearish down move from 481 to 475. It went down even lower to 468.94, so about 469. That is beautiful. We saw the potential of a $6.60+ move down. Actually, It was a great deal more than that. Our backtest accuracy was 75%, so things are beautiful. 2.63% down. Now, what does it say? What are we saying is going to happen on Monday? We're going to stay at about 80% bearish. Entry point is just a little bit higher than we are right now at 469.44. Exit points around the 465 mark. Expected move down of $4.44. 75% backtest accuracy. So again, what do you want to have on that? You want to have a red Heikin-Ashi candlestick on the 195-minute chart with decent volume, taking it down further. Of course, we have the 2-day moving in the right direction of this. We have all this movement in the past. Doesn't mean, as you see things flattening out here on the candles, that we couldn't be getting to the bottom. We could be. That's why, again, we want to be careful. We give you these percentages of probabilities, but they are just that, probabilities. Things can happen in the real world that change all that. Now, and again, that's why you got to pay attention to what's going on in the market when you're in the market. Let's look now at 20-year U.S. government bonds. This is the one where I poo-pooed what all of our research was telling us yesterday. I said, I just don't see the bearishness in it. Well, I was wrong. And for those of you who did see things, like we said, look for a green up candle with good volume. Man, did you have it in the morning? And then what did we have? 1.38% move up. It was beautiful. We looked at, let me see here, 88.83 is where we closed the day before, up to 90.50. And of course, it closed the market at 90.14. And we were looking at things moving up, over $1, and they did. What do we see on Monday? Well, we're still at 60% bullish, and I'm still hesitant because I just don't like that big fat red down candle, jumping in feeling good and bullish with 2 down red candles, and we have a little squiggly green candle, and 1 day of up movement, and I just feel squeamish about that. But again, if you see on Monday, good volume and green candles forming, then you may very well keep in or pull that trigger again. And then again, use this information if you're in a trade to potentially stay in a trade. Now, keep in mind that our stop loss is around the 475 mark. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Qs. On TLT, our stop loss is at 89.50. And as we continue and that's just below the recent lows. So again, if it drops down to the 89.50 from the 90.14, then of course that means you're starting to penetrate some of those levels that should be giving you some some support. And if it blasts below those, you may very well want to pull that trade. So again, I'm surprised. I was wrong. I am surprised. But anyway, things happen. And again, I told you what the charts were showing. I didn't believe it. What do we see going on with gold? Gold is up today. We told you we were bullish on gold yesterday. Gold up 0.74%. Look at gold just continuing to tweak it out higher and higher. These last 2 days of the week have been nice after gold was sort of sliding sideways and down some, and then started taking off on Thursday and then up on Friday. We're still bullish gold. We were bullish 70% yesterday. We're bullish 70% today going into Monday. Jumping in points about where we are right now at the 284.10, exit point 287. It's about a $3 up move. Our backtest accuracy is 65%. Those figures are all very similar to what we saw yesterday. So we'll keep our eye on things. And again, watch on Monday to see if gold continues to be hot and molten and moving up. That is where we are. Let's lastly go to Bitcoin. And where is Bitcoin? Man, it is down strong today, 3.82%. What did we tell you yesterday? We were bearish 75% directional probability, and we were right. Back test accuracy yesterday, 70%. and things did hammer down. Hit the closed at $23.69. And by the way, we do have an inverse for Bitcoin. It's BITI. And of course, you can see where BITI was moving up. And the nice thing about BITI is it's less liquid now than it typically is. That's what, 11 cents for a $25 ETF. I see it many times around 5 to 6 cents. But again, with all the movement today, I guess you can expect there to be a bit more of a swing there to protect the market makers. But as we look at where things are, of course, Bitcoin pulling down strongly. First day of the latest 2-day candle. You can see where Bitcoin for the last, looks like about 4 days, has been moving down, but really strong today, particularly in the morning. Looks like it just followed up about the same in the afternoon. Ended the week with a green spinning top, though, and this is important. It is outside the prior trend line, and it's a little green spinning top, almost a doji. So again, what does that bode for the future? Not sure. We're going to be paying close attention to it as we jump into the next week. But right now, as we end the week with what we have, and again, remember, we're trend following. We can't tell the future, but we can use what's happened in the past to help us forecast it with all the caveats that we give, because things, they do change. The trend is your friend until the end when it bends. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.